Welcome to my vlog on Jaipur. Jaipur is generally known as the Pink City, as you may see many pink colored buildings on either sides of the road within the historic city center. Our first destination was the famous Amber Fort, which is one of the prime attractions in Jaipur. The Amber Fort, built in 16th century, was the capital of the Kachwaha Rajput rulers till 1727 before they moved to the Jaipur city palace. The Amber Fort is built with red sandstone and marble and divided into 4 sections, each with a courtyard. The gate what you are seeing from here is the Suraj Pole or the Sun Gate. High above the Amber Fort lies the Jaigarh Fort, whose ramparts follow the contours of the hill, providing 3 different angles to attack the enemy. Sun Gate opens to the first section named the Jaleb Chowk, where the elephants and horses used to be tethered. We reached the gate that opens to the second section next to the Jaleb Chowk with a wide open courtyard. It includes the Diwani Arm, Shila Devi Temple and Ganesh Pole. Diwani Arm is where the king used to address the public and conduct the court sessions. The Ganesh Pole is finely carved with screens for the royal ladies to witness any ceremonial functions happening in the courtyard privately. It is the gateway to the third section, the Sukh Mandir. The Sukh Mandir opens to Diwani Khas and the Sheesh Mahal built around a Mughal garden. Diwani Khas is the place where the king used to conduct private meetings with other kings and his army commanders. Sheesh Mahal is one of the magnificent pieces of architecture built with precious stones and mirrors. As the queen liked to sleep in the open air looking at the stars, the king built Sheesh Mahal to give the same experience for her. As in the night, the reflection of 2 candles in the glass looked like stars in the whole room. The pavilion at the center of the courtyard is the Baradari, where the kings used to meet their wives. The one you are seeing is the emperor's quarters facing the courtyard. This is the 4th major courtyard area in the Amber Fort, reserved for the wives of the Rajas. Opposite to the emperor's quarters is the ladies' quarters or Zenana, where wives were housed. We exited the Zenana to a small street. There is a 1.5 kilometer secret tunnel connecting Amber Fort with the Jaigarh Fort for the queens to escape from the fort at a time of a war. We reached the gate, and outside there was a street musician playing his Ravan Hatha instrument, which is the ancestor of modern violin. You may see many Jain temples here close to the fort. Out of these, Sri Digambar Jain Temple is very famous. But due to lack of time, we had to skip it and continue our journey to the Jaigarh Fort. Jaigarh Fort literally means the victory fort. It was built in 1726 to protect Amber Fort and its huge palace complex from its enemies. It is the home to the largest cannon on wheels, also known as the Jaivana cannon, which you are seeing in the video. You may see the Mansagar Lake and the Jal Mahal at its center from here. The Rajputs and Mughals had their water crisis solved in the fort by appropriate rainwater harvesting techniques with proper water channels and underground tanks to supply water throughout the year. The cannon was once test fired in the year 1720 and the cannonballs landed 37 kilometers away, creating a huge crater. These are the different filters used to purify the water before it was collected in a massive tank. These open tanks were the ones used for filtration and purification processes. From Jaigarh Fort, we resumed our journey to Nahargarh Fort. Nahargarh means abode of tigers. It was built in 1734 by Maharaja Savai Jai Singh II, who is also the founder of the city of Jaipur. After having some light refreshments, we entered the fort. This stepwell inside the fort has a unique design where there is no symmetry in the steps cut out of the hillside. Over a period of time, This fort has undergone many modifications, adding many palaces within. The one you are seeing is the Madhavendra Bhavan, which is one among them. For some time, I enjoyed a Segway ride in the courtyard and then continued my exploration of the palace. It is a two-storied building with suites for the Queen of Jaipur and also a suite for the king himself. It is divided into 9 similar apartments. Each of these apartments has a lobby, bedrooms, toilets, kitchen and terrace, and they are connected to each other via a long corridor. The view from a window is quite magical. You may see multiple windows on the same line like reflections in the mirror. The architecture is pretty intricate and you may miss the way if you don't follow the sign marks. We then climbed the stairs up to the terrace where we got an incredible sight of the city of Jaipur. We could spot the Jantar Mantar and the city palace from there. The architecture of the palace rooftop also was an excellent sight. From Nahargarh Fort, we continued our journey to the next destination, which was the Kanak Ghati Garden, with a plan of taking a short rest. Later, we headed towards the last destination for the day, which was the Gator Ki Chatriyan. En route, we had a short stop at the Mansagar lakeside and got a beautiful view of the Jal Mahal. The palace, built in red sandstone, is a 5-storied building of which 4 floors remain underwater when the lake is full, and the top floor is only exposed. It was used as a shooting lodge for the Maharaja. We reached Gator Ki Chatriya, which is the royal crematorium ground meant for the Kachwaha Rajput rulers. It is located on the foothills of Nahargarh Fort and close by the Aravalli Hills. From there, we returned to the hotel, ending a memorable day. The next day morning, we started our sightseeing with a visit to Sri Galtaji Ka Mandir. Sri Galtaji Temple is a very ancient Hindu temple built within a mountain pass in the Aravalli Hills, 10 km away from Jaipur. The complex is set around a natural spring that emerges high on the hill and flows downward, filling a series of 7 sacred ponds in which pilgrims bathe. This is a small temple on the top of the hill dedicated to the sun god. There are steps for visitors to climb down the hilltop, continuing past the highest water pool to a series of temples below the hill. There is a Galva ashram and it is named after the famous holy saint Galva who made his penance for about 60,000 years ago. According to the ancient belief, the saint Galva brought the sacred Ganga to Sri Galtaji, which comes out of the Gaumukh on the hilltop. Famous saint Sri Tulsidas stayed in Sri Galtaji for about 3 years, and the Ayodhya Kand of the holy text Sri Ramcharitmanas was written during his stay here. features a number of pavilions with rounded roofs, carved pillars, and painted walls. The temple complex of Sita Ramji Temple is colloquially known as the Monkey Temple in travel literature due to the large number of monkeys who live here. The other temple opposite to it is the Galtaji Temple. It was a place worth visiting, and from there we continued our journey to the Jaipur City Palace. This is the Diwani Khas in the City Palace or Hall of Private Audiences. It is a large breezy pillared hall built in a Mughal architectural style. Perhaps the most noteworthy artifact in the entire complex is a pair of silver urns listed in the Guinness Book of World Records as the largest silver objects in the world. To the left of the Diwani Khas, there is a gate which leads to the Pritam Niwas Chowk. Behind the Pritam Niwas Chowk and towering over it is the 7-storied Chandra Mahal or Palace of the Moon. Each story has a different function and a color scheme. It is closed to the public as it is the official residence of the Maharaja of Jaipur. We went to the Diwani Arm. Today, it houses a major part of the City Palace Museum with elaborately decorated interior, the jewel-inlaid walls, and a massive chandelier. This is the Mubarak Mahal. It now contains a part of the Palace Museum exhibiting the Toshakhana or Royal Wardrobe section. Just outside this, there was a puppet show. Enjoyed it for some time and continued our journey to Jantar Mantar. A tuk-tuk to reach Jantar Mantar. It is an astronomical observatory and houses many astronomical tools. Rashi Valaya is composed of 12 instruments representing the zodiac signs, set at various angles to face the appropriate constellation. The Rama Yantra is used to measure the altitude of celestial objects. The Nadi Valaya is used to measure the local solar time at Jaipur. The two sunken hemispheres, what you are seeing, is the Jai Prakash Yantra. This is the world's largest sundial named the Samrat Yantra. We could spot it even from Nahagarh Fort on the previous day. From Jantar Mantar, we went to Hawa Mahal, climbed up and enjoyed the beautiful building located on the roadside in the historical city of Jaipur. Hawa Mahal literally means the Palace of Wind and sits on the edge of the city palace, extending to the women's quarters, allowing the royal ladies to see the street from the privacy of Hawa Mahal. This design also allows cool air to pass through, making the whole building really pleasant to stay during summer. It is a fusion of Hindu and Mughal architecture. Finally, we drove to the Albert Museum. The Albert Hall Museum in Jaipur is the oldest museum of the state and functions as the State Museum of Rajasthan. The building is a fine example of Indo-Saracenic architecture. The building was designed by Sir Samuel Swinton Jacob and named after Prince of Wales, Albert Edward. The museum has rich collections of artifacts including paintings, jewelry, carpets, ivory, stone, metal sculptures, and works in crystal. With this, we ended our second day in Jaipur. Third day started with a visit to Akshardham Temple. Swaminarayan Mandir Akshardham Temple is one of the well-known tourist attractions of Jaipur. The temple is known for its beautiful architecture, magnificent idols, sculptures, and carvings. Spending some time there, we headed towards Birla Mandir. It was built by the B.M. Birla Foundation and is constructed solely with white marble. From there, we drove towards our next destination, which was the Sisodia Rani Ka Bagh. The garden was built in the 18th century by Maharaja Savai Jai Singh for his second queen, Sisodia Rani, who was the Udaipur princess. The garden was decorated with mural paintings of Lord Krishna and Radha to express the love that the king had for Sisodia Rani. This garden holds beautiful water fountains, pavilions, flower beds, galleries, murals, water channels, and much more. It is designed with a mixture of Indian and Mughal architectural styles. By that time, it was around 4 p.m. and we headed towards the Bapu Bazaar, without which the Jaipur trip would not be complete. This was our last destination, after which we drove to the airport to fly back to Bangalore, making my 2019 Diwali vacation truly a memorable one. Thank you for traveling with me. Please also watch my other travel vlogs. The links are given in the description below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Also, please click the notification bell to get more videos.